Sri Dilip Parulekar, Honorable Tourism Minister, Government of Goa. We have four historic MOUs to be signed, and I shall invite the representative of the association in turn to come up on stage. Our first MOU is between the Hospitality Financial Technology Professionals and FHRAI. We have Mr. Kamlesh Barot already on stage. May I invite Mr. Raman P. Rama, President-elect, and Mr. Frank Wolf, Chief Executive Officer, to kindly come on stage to sign the first MOU. Banquets, can we have 2 chairs on stage? The first MOU between Hospitality Financial Technology Professionals, represented by Mr. Raman P. Rama, President-elect, and Mr. Frank Wolf, Chief Executive Officer, and FHRAI, represented by Mr. Kamlesh Barot, President. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand to HFTP and FHRAI on the signing of a historic Memorandum of Understanding. Thank you to Mr. Raman P. Rama and Mr. Frank Wolf. Thank you, gentlemen. The second MOU will be signed between the International Hotel and Restaurant Association and the Federation of the Hotel and Restaurant Association of India. May I request Dr. Ghassan Aidi, President of IH&RA, to kindly come up on stage and sign the second MOU with Mr. Kamlesh Barot. We've got Mr. Frederick Pierre, who will be signing as a witness from the UNWTO. A big hand to IH&RA and FHRAI on the second of the MOUs. Thank you to Dr. Ghassan Aidi and thank you, Mr. Frederick Pierre. The third MOU will be signed by the American Hotel and Lodging Association. I'll invite the President, Mr. Joe McInerney, to kindly come up on stage. Together with Mr. K.V. Simon, the Regional Vice President. Mr. Joe McInerney, President, and Mr. K.V. Simon, the Regional Vice President of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, signing the third of the MOUs with FHRAI. Congratulations to the American Hotel and Lodging Association. Thank you, Mr. Joe McInerney, Mr. K.V. Simon, and congratulations to both AHLA and FHRAI. And the fourth of our MOUs will be signed between the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, represented by Mr. Alkesh Patel, Chairman, and of course FHRAI by Mr. Kamlesh Barot. Congratulations, Mr. Alkesh Patel and the Asian American Hotel and Owners Association and FHRAI. The fourth of our historic MOUs being signed. Thank you, Mr. Patel. Ladies and gentlemen, before I request Mr. R.H. Khwaja to deliver his valedictory address, I'd like to pass the mic on to Mr. Kamlesh Barot for a very pleasant few moments.
Friends, I'll only take a minute before the valedictory function. Can I have Mr. Sunit Kothari on the stage, please? Is Dinesh Advani around? Friends, as I had put in my president's note in the magazine that was circulated to all our delegates and our invitees and speakers and ministers, I had only mentioned that everything that has gone right has happened more because of the committee members of the convention organizing committee, and if there was anything that you find missing or a flaw, I'm there responsible for anything that was missed out. The entire credit of getting everything that you saw seamlessly work right from the day you landed in Goa till the valedictory function is over, the Thanksgivings are over, are all an effort put in by a team led by the convention organizing committee chairman, Mr. Vivek Nair. Unfortunately, because of a family incidents, he had to leave at 11 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, he would have been here to lead. But I would only want to take a minute to explain what an effort has been for Mr. Sunit Kothari and Mr. Vivek Nair to have put together this wonderful convention. Since yesterday and a day before, in the evenings, I have been witness to one and all delegates, invitees, speakers come up to me, and without my even asking a question, they have come up and said, we've never witnessed this kind of a convention. We've never seen the kind of professionalism. And the feather in the cap was when we had these international dignitaries who said, your Congress is something to look forward to. It speaks volumes for the organization, speaks volumes about the meticulous work, the effort and the time spent overnights the recce visits to Goa, everything that Sunit has done, I would just like to put a small memento to him and felicitate him in front of everybody and the Tourism Secretary of it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't want to add to some more speeches since we've been hearing for the last 3 days, but just a few moments. Firstly, my personal and sincere thanks from the bottom of my heart to the President of FHRAI, Mr. Kamlesh Barot, the entire Executive Committee of FHRAI, and the entire Executive Committee of HRAWI for believing in me and for giving me this huge social responsibility. I never knew that when the numbers kept rising, I started having many sleepless nights. And I kept wondering how we're going to manage 825 delegates. At the same time, I kept worrying about the weather since we are in the midst of monsoons. But I'm also very thankful to the rain gods that for the last 2 days, they have had their blessings on us. In fact, when I came here on Sunday, from Sunday till Wednesday, it has been pouring heavily in Goa. So I'm very thankful to the weather gods. At the same time, my personal and sincere thanks to the chairman, Mr. Vivek Nair, for fully supporting me. Every suggestion that I gave, he strictly adhered to. He kept giving me his spanking, which I feel I should, as I'm learning a lot from him, from a person of his stature. At the same time, I also got a lot of spanking, that pleasurable spanking which is badly required from my executive committee members, and I really appreciate that, as I feel that if I'm not going to be corrected, I won't get better off with each passing convention. This is the 6th time I've been given this responsibility to chair or co-chair a convention, and again, I'm deeply very thankful to the entire committees. I'm also very grateful to the 4 hotels that fully supported. I must admit this, when I came for the first Reiki in the month of April, as well as in May and then in June, each time I met the GMs, they said, we've never seen anybody so charged up for an event for which you don't get paid for. I said, this is a social responsibility that I have to adhere to. Since I've admitted to do it, I must do it with utmost humility. At the same time, the support that they gave me in the very first meeting, they adhered to every request of mine. I feel you should give them a huge round of applause to the 4 general managers. Thank you. In my entire 10 years of my association with the organization, I've never seen this kind of unstinted and magnanimous support and gesture by the 4 hotels. Hosting all the 3 events, hosting the 3 dinners, hosting the comp rooms, getting the vehicles at the beck and call, this all requires a very large heart. So a big thank you to the 4 hotels. Also to all our partners and our sponsors, our partners for all the events that they have been with us. A big thank you to all of them. And of course to the entire delegate fraternity. Without your support, we couldn't have possibly done this. Please write to us. I will welcome every bouquet, every brickbat. It will help us to get better and better. Just one last thing before I wind off. My personal apologies for some technical glitches, which is beyond our control. The powers kept coming and going, the gensets kept getting on and off, which had a little bit on the sound effect. But I'm sure something which is not on our control, and you have been a very patient audience. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Sunit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I request Shri R.H. Khwaja, Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, to kindly deliver his valedictory address. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri R.H. Khwaja.
Namaskar. I thought that I had done all the talking, but since Barot Saab has directed me, let me begin by acknowledging the presence of the Honorable Tourism Minister of Goa, Mr. Barot, and all the other colleagues from FHRAI, the organizers. We've already heard one of our prima donnas who organized this. Ladies and gentlemen, I am told 800 plus people were there on the initial day. I hope that at the end of day 3, they feel it has been a worthwhile exercise, and every time we have a convention, we should try to be more professional when the next convention is organized. I am happy to hear that feedback is taken, and based on the feedback, efforts are made to take it to a next level by the learning curve. That's important, otherwise conventions become routinized, and it's good to have a social gathering, but the results get more diminished over the period of years. I am also given to understand by Mr. Barot that perhaps for the first time this initiative has been taken of inviting colleagues from across the globe, and some agreements here, MOUs have been signed. This is very good. We have to learn from best practices globally. It is obviously mutual learning. Visitors who are here from different parts of the world, they would also have observed some good practices which they will be carrying back. But if we want to professionalize, and some of the issues which are raised in the brief interactive session, I think we should get out of this mindset of looking at the problems. We should always look at the solutions. Of course, as the old theory propounded by many eminent people in the past, including Sir Arnold Toynbee, is human beings only respond when they are really challenged. So in tourism, the challenges are perhaps of a different type. I seriously welcome this suggestion that tourism should be left to business people. But the problem arises, it depends on the ethos of a particular country. Regulation is definitely there in every part of the world, in US also. For example, I know for sure that pollution control laws and environmental laws are very strict. And any industry, including the hotel industry, has to comply. So if we can move to a regime which is self-regulating, nothing better than that. Because it's always unpleasant to have a stick in your hand and then tell people do it or else. So let us try and move into the next level of self-regulation. Then many of the issues raised, like sound decibel levels, or having zones, they will perhaps become realities. As far as Government of India is concerned, I hope that most of you were here 2 days ago when the Honorable Minister was here. I did not have time to interact with him and get his responses, although we were together in a function yesterday evening. But I just asked him, how was your visit to Goa? And he said, yes, it was very brief. I was there only for a few hours, but it was a well-organized program. Beyond that, because we were sitting on the stage, I couldn't discuss with him. I hope that you have realized that the government is committed, and unless each actor in the drama or each stakeholder plays his or her own part, it will not be a symphony, may not be a cacophony, but certainly it will not be a symphony. We have to work together. Therefore, I have been advocating on the very first occasion when I had to interact with the trade, that was on 3rd August 2010. I mentioned that let's have the one vision, one mission, but that is preceded by one family. So it is in the order of one family, one vision, one mission framework, the spirit of Indian tourism. And that is contained in the 3 words which I used earlier: safe, honorable and sustainable tourism. I may remind all our stakeholders here that you have signed a commitment, an undertaking on 27th September 2010, which is celebrated globally as World Tourism Day, to promote safe, honorable and sustainable tourism. It is a commitment. It has been signed by all the apex organizations. Let us honor that commitment both in letter and spirit. We will always have issues. Taxation is an issue. Seamless travel or lack of it is an issue. There are many problems in the Government of India which we are facing. We have infrastructural constraints. But we can't look at problems and get intimidated. We have to understand and we have to then work together. I would like to once again thank FHRAI and, as I said, all the colleagues who are here from FHRAI. This month, August and September, 2 months when we have a lot of conventions. This is the third convention I am participating in the last 1 week. I was in Mumbai for IOTA, then yesterday it was ITTA, today it is FHRAI, and next month, I think middle of next month, it is the domestic tour operators. So this is the time for annual stock taking. I hope the deliberations will not be lost, and when we meet again next year, that is the convention when it is held next year, they will not begin anew and say, let's reinvent the wheel again. Please take forward the issues meaningfully. We are